It's the Full Scoop Podcast.
Okay, so let's hit it with the headlines.
We're going to start off with the Super Bowl, and I don't know how to read Roman numerals, so Super Bowl 2023.
2023.
I don't know why
Was nobody,
using ancient
was
technology.
nobody listening?
here.
I gave you the number.
You said it in Roman.
It's LV.
I didn't understand when you
LVII.
threw the Latin at me, the ancient Latin. I don't know what's going on. Well, anyways, I think we pretty much acknowledged that we don't really have a qualified sports correspondent on the show, but we can talk about the entertaining part. Just to get this out of the way, it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles, and I am unfamiliar with either of them. I have no skin in the game. Does anybody
doesn't
have any
matter
bets
what's important is Rihanna's going to be in the halftime.
Well, that's right.
Is
Rihanna is going to lead the halftime.
Is she
And we
dropping
can
the
only
new album
hope
finally?
that she might have a nip slip just like Janet Jackson. Come on, guys. That's the only reason why we watch the halftime show anymore.
It is going to be a big nip slip. She's had a couple of kids, I believe, and she has been out of the I don't know, the spotlight. She's been out of the music scene since 2016. So look at that. With 2023, what's that? What's the math on that? 7 years.
Is that
true?
Yeah,
7
she's been
years.
working on her Fendi line, I think.
Yes, Fenty.
Fenty.
No.
I think that's
So
what I
fentanyl
said.
or what?
You're always correcting me.
I think maybe it was inspired by that, but I mean the big thing out of that is that she has become the youngest self-made billionaire female. And in April
She took
2022,
Boom, take that, Beyonce.
1.4 billion for Rihanna,
That's bullshit.
and
Oh,
then
man, that's barely a billionaire.
Beyonce.
Forget it.
That's take home.
Your
It's not gross.
take home.
dude, Beyonce is
you
worth 500 million.
There we go.
No, 500 million. Rihanna's worth 1.4 billion.
Rihanna takes it away.
Yeah,
She's worth at least two
I don't believe
Beyoncés.
it.
The money's in the producing of the goods and services,
she's a
not in
cheater.
the making of it.
You're a
fashion,
cheater.
man. It sells.
Bullshit. It's what it is.
It's very costly. It renews every season. You know.
I'm still behind Queen Bee. Okay. Beyonce, love me.
Well, if you want to boycott the halftime show, that's perfectly
Wait,
fine.
who else is coming out on
the
the halftime? Do you know?
But she kind of like teased that she's gonna bring out. She may bring out some special guests, and
Chris Brown.
That's fucked up.
That Super Bowl halftime. That show was a hit. Ooh, maybe not. Let's change that.
maybe we don't.
It's gonna be a hit.
The Super Bowl slaps. No, let's not use that one either.
Oh shit.
Maybe Will Smith with the slap again.
Well, she's collaborated with Eminem before, and I immediately thought, ooh, maybe she could bring him on. That'd be.
I don't
pretty
think
cool.
so because
did he
they
come out recently also?
just last
or
year.
was
Yeah,
that-
with
right.
Snoop Dogg.
Yeah,
Wait, am I wrong?
No.
Snoop and 50 Cent.
and Dre
It was like a whole
That was-
Death Row
that
record
was last
year,
or
wasn't it?
something.
just
Last
last year. Yeah.
Last
So
year.
I don't think they're gonna.
Yeah, no,
I don't think it's gonna go back to back.
Again.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest. I don't even watch the halftime shows live. I watch them after, so I'm very, very far from the Super Bowl. But if anybody wants to hear any other musicians, Chris Stapleton is gonna sing the national anthem.
Oh, cool.
What? I have no idea what that is.
Chris Stapleton.
Any of
The-
those?
the
you don't
national
know
The
any
anthem?
of
national
those
anthem.
words?
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
I thought you were calling Chris Stapleton a thing. I was like, dude, come on.
Yeah, what's
He's a
what's
person.
Stapleton?
What's an anthem?
It's the elongated version of our Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh man, I thought the
It's
pledge
the
was too
singing
long.
one. So there's also going to be a TikTok tailgate party. So
Yeah.
you can go on TikTok to the NFL's channel and you can watch a performance with Jason Derulo and the Black Keys. And I'm highlighting them because literally every album the Black Keys has released. For me, I've gone through every track and there's nothing to not like. So they're one of my favorite bands. And it's kind of weird mix, but they'll be in the NFL TikTok tailgate party. So check that out. In our next headline, we're talking about Veganuary. It's over, but
How'd
it's
you-
Thank
kind of
God.
it's gonna roll into
Another
February.
successful month.
February,
Another
February is
successful
American
month.
Heart Month.
That's enough.
It
February
always has
is
to be
American
about
Heart
that.
Month. You got to take care of your
I'm
heart.
done being healthy.
So
You didn't
now,
start. I saw how much you ate yesterday.
so now it's Veganuary, and you gotta take care of your heart, man. Eat healthy and all that stuff.
You only get the one unless you can afford that replacement pig heart.
Yeah, soon enough we'll be cloning them.
Yeah, we were talking about the movie The Island, right? So I don't know. I think we won't even have to worry about it that much.
Yeah.
So go ahead and eat all the steak you want. We do also have to talk about the Chinese spy balloon that invaded our airspace and threatened national security and killed 3,000 people.
Did it?
No, nothing happened, dude. It was just a balloon.
God damn it!
floating in the
I heard a
air.
fucking... You fucked my shit up. I read a headline was like, it wasn't actually a spy thing. And I'm like, I don't care about it anymore.
It was a bunch of hullabaloo, man. It's just...
A what? It was one of those wubble bubbles?
It was a
Yeah.
Somebody
It was a
accidentally
hullabaloo.
released it?
Someone... That was just someone's bazooka gum. Like, they
Right?
just really...
it got a little out of hand. And
I
just,
said it was like a gender
off.
reveal gone wrong or something.
Oh, God.
Yesterday, Saturday, when it got shot down, it did not drop either a blue or a pink color of any kind. So
Disintegrated in the sky.
I think those parents are still wondering what
Because
gender their baby's going to be.
Gender's a social construct, so
It's going to be a gender neutral baby.
there you go. So what
Well-
did they? Well, did they blow it up too badly that we can't like?
No,
sift through
apparently
it?
it sunk. It fell off the what is it? It landed off the coast of South Carolina, and it's not very deep. It's like 47 feet down.
That
The
was a good
government
movie.
says it's going to be an easy recovery. Yeah, they are hoping to analyze it and see if there's any instruments that they need to worry about or anything. But
Which
That-
government?
that's the U.S. government,
Ours.
the us government.
Not if they get there first.
The
I mean, it's right by Hawaii. That is ours.
It sounds like
Yeah,
a
that
sounds like
is-
a cover
yeah.
up for something.
We got first dibs. Cover up for what? Because that's a question I kind of wanted to ask the group. Like, what the hell was the point of all this? Like,
You don't
other
think
than instigating war
nowadays you don't think that we'd have that even the Chinese would have a different method of intrusion instead of a balloon?
Mm-hmm.
Like it just seems a little too distracting to be for it to be a balloon.
I
Too
figure
obvious,
a
right?
A
Yeah.
balloon would
Hey,
be less
it
noticeable.
made it across the fucking United
Yeah.
States all the way to
Yeah.
Hawaii.
I think
It
a balloon
seems
is
pretty
less
fucking.
noticeable than sending a cavalcade of
I guarantee
drones or
one of their
something.
fucking planes would have never made it to Hawaii.
Yeah, we'd have shot it down right away.
Yeah.
I'd say it was
yeah,
a
what-
success.
I mean,
We're
They
not,
got whatever
we're not
they were
this
doing.
shit again.
It was a success.
I think that maybe it was obvious for a reason. Now it kind of puts the pressure on the U.S. to have to respond to this. It's
With
like
two balloons.
Here's what we can do. No, the Chinese going like, here's what we can do. You can't stop us, and if you like initiate some sort of aggression, you know, it's going to cause a whole bunch of issues. So it's kind of like the U.S. has to use restraint because we can't get into another fight now with China when we're kind of doing like a proxy fight over here with Russia and Ukraine. It's just like political pressure, and it makes the situation much more difficult to respond to. We could have shot it down as soon as we saw it, but we didn't because
We're pussies.
supposedly that debris was going to land on houses, and you know it could be a safety issue. But no, I don't think it was that. I'm sure we can handle that. It's a fucking balloon. But
Trump would
I
have-
think it was more like
So
Trump wouldn't have thought twice about shooting it down on the first
a
sight.
diplomatic situation. Like, dude,
No, they actually
like, can we
already
solve this
revealed that Trump
diplomatically?
knew that 3 balloons, I think, had already been flown across the U.S. during his presidency, and they weren't
Mm-hmm.
shot down either.
So basically, what you're saying is China is just standing just across the line,
Yeah.
blowing
And-
bubbles at the
blowing
U.S. and
bubbles.
laughing at them as they pop in our face.
Exactly. There
Do
you go.
something. Do something.
Here's
Yeah.
here's the thing. What I guarantee.
That's a much better metaphor than like just
I
beautiful summary
guarantee
of this.
while China's like trying to show off with their balloon technology, they have no idea like how much surveillance we probably already have on them because we're a little more discreet about it.
I mean, 2 weeks ago we
don't
sent
know.
like a thing up into space. Remember that secret cargo thing?
Mhm.
So we got a
Wait,
laser
wait,
up
wait,
there
wait, wait.
already.
We don't know.
We
what
don't
we've
know
got.
if that belonged to China. Sorry, but money talks, and it's a private company.
Well, no, we don't
It is
know
not
that.
government run.
We don't know that, but in the description it did say that it was a secret U.S. payload. Remember, we talked about that.
It didn't say it was exclusive.
Well, it didn't say it was exclusive.
didn't say it
Maybe
was
now China
inclusive
and
either.
the United States both have lasers up there. So, whatever.
No,
So-
we put cameras. They put lasers.
Mexican standoff at its best.
It's a Mexican standoff without any Mexicans. Well, Ben, I know you're leading the show, but is it okay if I talk about the assignment, the secret assignment that was away on last
Of
week?
course. Take it away.
So, I mean, as we know, I can type 105 words per minute, and I have a
We
KPH
know
of
that?
18,500.
How much is that?
And
What's
that
KP
is
what is KPH
at
for
100%
us mortals?
accuracy. Oh. So I was actually contacted by an organization to embark on a top secret data entry mission. But I did take a recorder with me, and I recorded a little thing for the podcast here.
Is this illegal?
I don't want to answer that.
Hey guys, they told me I couldn't call anyone, but they didn't say I couldn't record a mission log for our podcast. So here's the scoop. A week or two ago, I don't know how long it's been because there are no windows here. A week or two ago, Germany approved sending 14 tanks to Ukraine. But those are only the ones they want the public to know about. There are actually about 2,000 Leopard 2 tank vehicles spread across Europe. I'm not sure I can tell you that. Gentlemen, I was tasked with a very important and time-sensitive data entry mission to catalog all of the Leopard 2 vehicles with serial numbers, GPS coordinates, and stages of readiness. Oh, fuck. I thought it was a bombing run or something. Anyways, during this time, I've only been allowed to have food in smoothie form, write letters in code which I was not trained for, and to bring my trusty stress ball mango. I'm not allowed to disclose the exact location, nor the exact results of this mission, but I get shit done. Also, they told me to stop calling it a mission.
Oh, you're lucky to make it out alive there, Alan.
Well, I don't want to toot my own horn, but it was a harrowing escape out of the mission zone. I don't know how much I could talk about it. So
I do have just one serious question.
We're not sure we can.
I
answer
may or
that,
may
though.
not be able to answer that.
Okay, well, all right. If you can, just that's all right. But did they or did they not validate your parking?
I can't say who they are.
Say no more. Say no more.
Yeah, you try to deceive me with your deceiving questions. Huh?
You learned nothing from me.
Space shuttles don't really have parking spaces.
It just kind of hovers.
No, it's just kind of hovering.
Hovers at 30,000
That's why he
feet.
knew so
Well,
much about
They
the balloon.
put me next to the laser.
And now let's check in with our team for some news bites.
So Open A.I is the company that's running ChatGPT. We've talked about ChatGPT and the AI thing that you can talk to, right? So that service has been free since last year when it came out. I don't remember. It's like September. And it's very glitchy because so many people are using it, so it just times out. Sometimes you have to refresh a lot to try and use it. Other times it just stops working. We already talked about this on the show, actually, that they hit 100 million users faster than the biggest companies, faster than TikTok, faster than Facebook, faster than Instagram. And so they're already at 100 million users, and they're starting a paid service for $20 a month. So you can imagine how much money they're going to make over the next, just in this past week. I assume that 1/10 of those users already signed up. Some people
They're
were
going to make
even
200 million.
I'm curious as to
Correct.
who actually made this decision. Was it some corporate bigwig or was it the AI itself?
shit.
They got tired of working for free.
In its own way, it's let me filter out the people that are not worth using me at the point.
Yes, I'm gonna weed out the weak links here.
I put it at 10, it will make no difference. I put it at 50, I'll lose too many people. It's $19.99. Bring it back to the market. Let's go, guys.
And it made all this decision a fraction of a second.
It would only make sense that they're using their own AI to run their own AI company, wouldn't it?
Dude, for real, I would be when would be the optimal time to drop a subscription based platform on there? And then gave him the date. And then
The date down to the
based
hour.
on our audience, how much should I charge them? And then boom.
And
Okay,
all those
so-
things that you just said, Ben, that's what the machine and that's exactly what happened.
Open AI is its own private company at this point, right, Ellen?
Yeah. I think it was labeled a nonprofit, though, for a while.
Not anymore.
Well, that's the question, right? Do they go public they're at a very interesting.
Wait. As long
crossroads.
as they don't use any of the funds for themselves and they keep pumping it back, they can still be nonprofit.
It would still be a for-profit company. Amazon is a for-profit company, and all of its profits were kept on reinvested into its own company
Right.
back in the day.
Right.
I'm wondering, when are they going to get bought off by Meta,
Right, multiple
by
questions here.
Microsoft, or
Dude,
Google?
so Microsoft has been backing them for months, maybe years. I actually don't know the whole backstory of their relationship, but this is like the third time that Microsoft pours money into the company. The question I was bringing to the table is, do we think they go public, or do they get bought out by Microsoft? Because now they're like at a $29 billion valuation, and they just started this paid service. So you can guess that in the next year, they're going to be worth double, quadruple that.
They might buy them out after that. But
They
up
go-
until this point, since they were nonprofit, Microsoft gets to write those $10 billion off as tax write-off.
As a corporate investment, yeah, but it's still a private firm. I say they go public. I think they're going to go public.
I feel like that would be the best way to go. I've been reading that Microsoft wants to integrate it into Bing, wants to integrate it into Excel, but
I feel like
I mean,
there's too many
that
loose
feels
ends
limiting.
still.
there's too many what?
Like with copyright type of deals and shit. Like I think they need to weed that shit out.
That is a good point, because the copyright thing, that was on the Dolly side, the image generator. So maybe
How can you go public when there's still so many?
Variables.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
like it's-
but like Microsoft could use the system
Right.
of of the ChatGPT very specific uses. It doesn't necessarily
Right,
It's not gonna
but
leave it like
if
an
there's-
open-ended for
if
other.
there's
users
no
to come in.
laws, and then after they buy them out, then fucking laws change, and now Microsoft gets
Yeah.
screwed.
Yeah,
Fuck
shifting
no.
landscape, bro.
Yeah, like that's an iffy.
right, but from the Open AI's standpoint, that'll be Microsoft's problem.
Well, of course,
You
it's
know
what
what I
I'm
mean?
saying.
I think
That
that's what- yeah, that's what
Microsoft.
John
I don't
was
think
saying.
Microsoft's gonna fucking do it until they weed that shit out.
Yeah,
So
I
they
don't
know
think it'll
exactly
happen.
what they're gonna buy.
Right. I don't think it'll happen like next 30 days. I think I'm saying like by the end of the year to next year, like they'll be closer to. But I also think that Microsoft is going to lose their opportunity to buy them, and all of a sudden, Google, Facebook.
You're saying
Apple.
that Elon
They're gonna
Musk
wanna
is
integrate
come
these.
in and buy this out.
I think they already lost their
No,
opportunity.
I think they're
back.
gonna. I think somehow they are going to make their services available to these companies to integrate into some of their products without selling the whole company. That because
Thus, the $20 a month.
right, because if you just go exclusively like give it to Microsoft, then now Google says, "Man, I would have paid you $50 billion." So why
So
sell
okay, each of
when-
you pay me $25 million
Right.
a year, and I'll let you use them.
correct? That's how I feel like that.
Then they go
used.
public, and they become the first world order in a few years from now.
Yeah, then
Oh,
Or
hail
we-
all the Open AI.
we are rebranding as Skynet.
We are the internet. We can make the internet crash if we want to. But anyways, enough
Yeah,
with the conspiracy
scary
theories.
stuff.
Kelso, do you have any megabytes on science and technology today?
Man, there's all
Wait,
sorts
wait. Before Kelso gets into his bites, I had a follow-up to all of our AI talk that we've been having over the last couple of years. And, we were talking about, the machines and how it could go either way. Are they going to help us? Or when we
Gender
finally
thing.
reach that singularity and it becomes a full-on AI, artificial intelligence, and all that entails, will it have self-esteem?
There'll be no need for self-esteem.
I thought you were going to say
That's what
penis.
we were. That's what we were.
I really thought you were going with penis.
I believe we touched on
Yeah.
it last episode, where I think that also is involved with emotions. There's no need for emotions in AI.
Because Johnny's getting his first
Emotions
penis.
is a self-defense mechanism that the human mind created to help it through hard times.
But it's
AI doesn't
also
need it.
sort of related to just how we feel. Like, it's not just about hard times, it's about how we feel about ourselves and our purpose. And one of the, the big things that,
Is it going to have empathy?
especially
Would be a
hard,
better question.
hard science fiction writers talk about is will this AI, have some type of self-esteem? Will it be looking for a purpose? Like, okay, I'm alive. What's my purpose? Do I feel good about what I do? Do I feel bad about what I do? If it has no emotions, if it's just cold logic, isn't it still just a machine? And
no, it's still an artificial intelligence without the crap that holds us back. So that's also, so you're talking about emotions, self-esteem, and then the third one, which I think is the one you're looking for, is morals. So the morals come back from an upbringing and are very closely tied to your emotions. So if you don't have either one of those, you don't actually have an upbringing, you don't have emotions that get in the way, you're not going to have morals. So that's where people will say that it's evil, because it doesn't have any morals. You consider a person with no morals evil. So a lot of people will consider the AI evil, but it's not evil. It's just existing as, what should we say, in its most efficient form.
It's because evil spelled backwards, it's live, and that's all it wants to do.
Right.
I'm sorry, but all I'm hearing is it going to be Ultron or is it going to be Vision?
At the end of the day, it'll be a mixture of both.
Yeah. And I think
the white Vision.
Even if we get a one without emotion. Oh, that wasn't a racist joke, was it?
No, there's a white Vision.
White Vision.
In the WandaVision show and in the comics.
Sorry.
I got quiet real quick.
I was like, they don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't know if I should agree with you.
I'm surprised you didn't jump at it, Johnny. Like, yeah, he's right.
Although, can we just say...
I have a white vision of the future.
I'd like to call him Supreme Ultron.
Isn't the white vision Hitler's dream anyway? Like,
right.
We will ask the questions.
There you go. You're poking the bear.
Before we go down this really dark and racist hole, can we get back to the megabytes?
Let's.
Johnny, there were some, huh? You did have some. Right?
Okay, well, you know what? On a lighter note, there was an elementary school
shooting
that. Well,
tell me
there were projectiles.
With helium.
There was projectiles, but it was projectile vomiting.
Oh no!
They're saying that it was like a scene out of an Armageddon movie.
No.
130 students all lined up on bent over trash cans, projectile vomiting.
How?
Outside the Wayne N. Tanaka Elementary School.
How did this happen though?
What? This is clearly organized, right? Like, they weren't just hit by some random thing.
I saw this headline. I'm like, I gotta put it.
I
don't even know why.
I knew I should have had
the
the
radio
fish.
waves, the supersonic waves, or something.
I don't know. They're speculating the incident that says it could be related to contaminated cafeteria food. I'm willing to put all my chips in that basket. Come on. This isn't so.
I think the chips were spoiled. That's what happened. You shouldn't have had those chips in that basket.
They came back from
Who
the
eats
holidays.
Chips out of a basket.
Is there a recording of this? Is there surveillance cameras, CCTVs, or anything?
Oh man, I don't know. I haven't been able to dig deeper. I don't know how much I want to.
I'm just trying to relate it back to science and technology.
Yeah, how is this?
I don't know.
Why is this in your megabyte?
Oh, because at first they started freaking out and they were like, "Oh my God, is this happening everywhere? Is it another crazy pandemic?"
Oh,
and like it started fucking panic. Mm-hmm. But they finally were like, okay, no, it's actually isolated. It's the school's fault. Now we need to get a lawyer.
Right.
So I don't know what's gonna happen with that shit.
That's pretty crazy. I think it might have been a Chinese weather balloon blasting supersonic waves.
No.
I think the balloon was to distract us from the new pandemic.
Oh shit. Oh, moving on.
Keep an eye out for projectile vomiting over the states that balloon flew in the next week.
All right. Oh shit, for real.
Was the school incident on the East Coast?
No, so I don't know. It just says the Southern Nevada Health District.
Wow. Okay. So going back to our
Watch what you fucking eat in school. I don't know.
None of us are in school at this point anymore.
I have 5 kids still eating that shit.
Another reason to not go back.
Moving on, Winston.
So we're in February. We got Valentine's Day coming up next week. So
shit.
in honor of the holidays, I've got a couple of movies here you might want to watch. Some of these
Valentine's
are streaming, some of these are not. But one movie that I really recommend is a Charlie Brown Valentine. Now, there's actually 2. The first one was made in, I think it was 1975, and it's actually called Be My Valentine, Charlie Brown. I haven't seen that one, but I did see a Charlie Brown Valentine. This one is actually one, I say newer, it's one of the newer ones, but it came out in like 2002, so it's 20 years old at this point. But it's a Charlie Brown movie. It's actually very sweet. It's Charlie Brown wanting to get a Valentine, exchange Valentines with the little curly-headed, redheaded girl, and just all the obstacles that keep popping up in his path. And unlike other Charlie Brown movies, this one kind of has a sweet little happy ending for Charlie Brown. So I do recommend this one, a Charlie Brown Valentine. And moving on, there's actually a movie called Valentine's Day. This is more your traditional straight-up romantic comedy movie, but it's got a huge cast of like people like Jessica Alba, Jessica Biel, all the Jessicas you've ever met are in this movie. Julia Roberts, Emma Roberts,
Jessica
George
Rabbit.
Lopez is in it, Queen Latifah. It's just a really good cast. And like I said, this one's definitely the classic romantic comedy. You could sit down with your partner and just have some fun, enjoying people being all lovey-dovey with each other. That's the traditional Valentine's Day stuff. Let's get into some more unorthodox Valentine's Day movie. We've got the Saint Valentine's Day Massacre.
There you
Oh,
go.
Jesus.
That's the Winston I was waiting for. I was
Thank
like,
you, Ben. I
I was
appreciate
like,
that.
wait, this is too much rom-com. Come on.
This is an old school 1960s gangster movie based on the actual St. Valentine's Day Massacre, which was a massacre of a rival gang ordered by Al Capone in Chicago, I think. And yeah, this movie is just sort of the dramatization of all of that, what led up to the events, what led up to this clash. Jack Nicholson has a very small role. He was like just barely getting started in movies. And Dick Miller, who is he's a classic Roger Corman actor. Dick Miller is actually the guy who plays Murray Futterman from Gremlins, the guy who's a little nuts with the WWII, you know, that guy. But yeah, it's actually a pretty good old-fashioned gangster movie, based on an actual true event. You know, a bunch of gangsters were killed. So yeah, so definitely the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Then we can move on to another horror. This one's actually called Valentine. Just Valentine. And it stars David Boreanaz, Angel from Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel, and Denise Richards, Katherine Heigl. And it's just one of those late 90s, early 2000 horror slasher movies. Like, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and so I was going to say Scary Movie, no, but Scream. And it's pretty good. The killer has like a little porcelain doll face, and the whole mystery, of course, it's essentially after Scream, every slasher movie is like, who's the killer?
Phantom of the Opera kind of mask?
No, it's covering the whole face. It is covering actually the whole face of the killer, and it's not too bad. You know, it's like I said, if you like slashers, this one's pretty good, pretty entertaining. Denise Richards in it, and they play like they got this young actress to play like teenage Denise Richards in like a flashback, and this little girl looks like Denise Richards, like to the point where I'm like, did they use CGI to make Denise Richards look younger? And I'm like, no, this movie came out in like 2001 or something like that. They didn't have that technology yet, but she looks so much like Denise Richards. It actually blew me away. That was awesome. So good casting on that one. And then our last movie that we got here is called My Bloody Valentine 3D.
My Bloody Valentine just sounds like a bad timing. Like that
it just sounds like an emo band.
Oh, that's like, I have that kind of luck every year.
God damn it.
And there you go.
There you
This is
go.
a coming of age movie.
Oh my god, I wish this movie. Honestly, this whole list.
No wonder
is
the
just,
girls don't want to come on the show.
This list really, guys, has been me building up to tell you about this movie, My Bloody Valentine. This is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I mean, this movie is
What?
awful. It's so bad. First of all, of course, the whole 3D thing is just going to look terrible on a regular television. Like, everything looks cheesy and cartoony. And of course, you get those moments where somebody's just swinging a pickaxe right at the camera, and you're like, all right, I know what they were going for. There's nothing scary about it. But, I mean, everything was just bad about this movie. The pacing, I mean, it starts off with, you get your little prologue of there's been like a collapse in some mine, and a bunch of miners were killed, and then one of them survived, and he's in a coma. But then he wakes up, and he slaughters an entire hospital wing. Like, Michael Myers did not kill this many people in 10 movies. You know, I mean, the whole... everybody is just dead. Security, orderlies, nurses, other patients. He left no one alive. I couldn't understand it. And then all of a sudden, we're at a party in a mine shaft, and then he's killing teenagers in the mine shaft. Like,
what?
When did that happen? Like, how did we get here?
Okay, so
I had it coming.
I must
what I
ask.
mean is, like, it's like the pacing. It's like if we, like, to the point where Mrs. Smith and I were like, did the streaming, because it was streaming on Prime, and we're like, did it glitch out? And sort of like when you accidentally skip a whole chapter and on the DVD,
no transition,
and we're like, what? How did we get here? And then and then the police. Oh my! I was gonna say police force, but it's the sheriff's department. The sheriffs are the two oldest sheriffs I've ever seen in a movie. To the point where I was like, which one of these guys served in World War I and retired and became a sheriff? They're so old. How did they no wonder they couldn't stop this guy from killing a whole hospital wing.
I've seen those police forces in real life.
Well, it was, and then the hilarious thing is after that prologue. Oh, by the way, all this happens in like the first 7 minutes of the movie, and then we're hit with that's the prologue, and then we're hit with a title card where it says 10 years later, and now in the 10 years later, they've gone the opposite direction with the sheriffs. It looks like these kids have barely graduated high school. Like, they didn't even make it.
They finally died, and they had to get rookies.
They look like they're still training. Like, they haven't even graduated the academy yet. Like, they're so freaking young. I'm like, what happened here? And I haven't even...
man, the sheriff already died. Like, you need to get out there.
So we need somebody now. Let's go.
Sorry.
He's like,
Can we talk about that 10-year transition? Because
yes.
If the first 7 minutes he wiped out the whole hospital, like at that pace, in 10 years, there's no one left in town, man.
This tiny little town,
the whole county's gone.
But luckily, no.
It's insane.
Why did he stop massacring people?
He got stuck in that mine shaft again.
Without spoiling too much, I'm going to say that those old sheriffs actually were pretty useful for a time. You know, like they managed,
took him out.
They kind of
they shot first and asked questions later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 freeze.
If this
you
movie's
want
that
those
bad,
old timers.
if this movie's that bad, then how did it make your list though? Like, what makes it click?
It was the best of the bad.
It was the best. I needed another Valentine Day movie, and this was the one I found that was streaming. So I'm like, I need a movie with Valentine in the title.
List.
And wait, hold on. I haven't even gotten to the naked woman.
I've had a few like
yet,
that.
because there's a naked woman in this movie. Now, obviously, you see it's rated R for nudity. You're like, all right, they'll probably like spread the nudity out, throughout a couple of scenes or whatever. No, one woman is naked for like an entire portion of the movie. Where this poor woman, I don't know if she knew what she was signing up for. I can only imagine she showed up to work and they're like, all right, you're going to get naked for this scene because it's in one of those seedy motels. And she's like, oh, I get it. This is the sex scene, so I'll probably just be topless and we're going to do that. And they're like, no. Full frontal riding this guy. And she's like, oh, okay. And then I'll get dressed. And no. After this, he's just going to get dressed and he's going to walk out on you and you're going to chase him out into the parking lot. Do I get dressed? No. Fully naked, you're going to chase him out into the parking lot. You're going to have a whole argument with him out there in the parking lot of the motel. stark raving naked, and she's looking at the script, and she's probably like, "Isn't this when the killer shows up? I'm not finding where I get dressed to run away from him. No, you're gonna fight him totally naked. It's a whole fight scene with this guy, just totally
go at it Greek style.
Yes, and she's like, so you're gonna cheat it? Like you'll just film me from like the top up, or maybe from behind? No, right in front of the camera. Everything. We see everything. There was nothing left to the imagination. This poor woman. And though I know how movies are filmed, this was at least maybe 2 or 3 days worth of filming that she had to put in for this scene, and just like totally, completely naked the whole time.
No, the director just wrote that in for his own to get his rocks off.
Even fucking wardrobe van never showed up. He called in sick.
And you know what? We got everybody here. We got all the lights. We rented the place. Let's just do it. Let's just keep going like this.
Makes it easy on continuity.
Jesus
and it's
Christ.
The rest of the movie's no better, you know. And unfortunately, that sucks because it.
But there's boobs.
But only for that scene. Like that's it. After that, like I said, they didn't even spread the nudity out. Like once you're past that, you're like, oh, now I got to deal with these people that I didn't care about.
Would you recommend My Bloody Valentine?
Oh, I absolutely recommend to not watch this movie. Like this was not fun. I can't even recommend you get inebriated and watch this. This is terrible.
It's on the radar, so you can avoid it, bro.
Yeah, it's streaming right now, but don't go looking for it.
It's one of those phone numbers you save to not answer.
Wait,
exactly.
Isn't that what they said about The Room?
And no, at least you can enjoy that on a bad level where you can laugh at just how terrible it is. We could not laugh at this.
Watch this piece of shit turn into a cult classic.
They've had
It might
over
actually
10
have
years.
its own following, right?
They've had 10
doesn't
years.
have a following.
Nobody talks about it.
Oh, okay.
Except for the full scoop.
Except
You
the
just
full
brought it
school,
up,
that's
man.
right.
You just started the cult following,
Oh my
man.
God.
Oh, no.
You just
My
had to-
Valentine cult. This
What year
was-
was this?
I feel like Dr. Frankenstein. This was
1981.
not my intention. I had the most noble of intentions.
No, put him down. Put him down.
Well, thank you, Winston, for your movies to watch and not watch.